I can see the problem, I just can't picture what fixing it actually looks on the ground. This is what I hear most often from hotel operation directors when this conversation gets serious. The case for after-hours coverage is clear. They've usually felt it long before they've calculated it. The part that's hard to picture is the operational reality. What does it mean for my team? What do I tell the night manager? What happens when a caller asks something the AI can't handle? What does week 1 actually look like? This video is the answer to those questions. It's a step-by-step walkthrough of what 24/7 call coverage looks like to implement operationally at a hotel, not a concept, the actual sequence. My name is Daria. I build and deploy AI voice systems for hotel groups and hospitality businesses. What I'm going to walk through is a standard implementation, from the preparation phase through to settled performance system. The specifics vary by property, but the structure is consistent enough to give you a reliable picture of what to expect. Before anything gets built or integrated, there is a preparation phase. This is the part that most evaluation conversations skip over, and it's where the quality of the eventual system is largely determined. What you need to prepare. First, your call flow documentation. This means mapping the types of call your property receives and what the right response to each one of them is. Booking inquiries, what information gets collected, what the confirmation process looks like, general inquiries, opening hours, amenities, parking, check-in times, existing guest queries, how they're handled, what the escalation path is, complaints, where do they go and who owes them. You don't need to have this perfectly documented before you start, but you don't need to be able to answer these questions in working session with whoever is building your system. The quality of the conversation flow is directly dependent on the quality of the operational input. A generic flow produces generic handling. A flow built around your specific call types produces something that sounds and performs like your hotel. Second, your integration points. What system does the call handling need to connect to? Your PMS for checking availability, confirming existing bookings, looking up guest records. Your CRM or booking system for logging in new inquiries and reservations. Your escalation channels, the mechanism by which the AI passes a caller to a human when necessary. These integrations are scoped and built during the deployment phase, but knowing what they are in advance saves significant time. Third, your escalation rules. This is critical, and I'll come back to that in more details. You need to define before deployment the situations in which the AI should stop handling the call and pass it on to the human. Which call type require human judgments? Which situation should never be handled without a person? These rules are built into the system as they determine how the operation feels to the caller and to your team. Typical preparation phase. How does it look? 1 to 2 weeks of working sessions. The integration phase is where the voice system is connected to your existing operation. For hotel, the standard integrations are the phone system. The AI voice agents need to sit on your inbound phone number, or more precisely on a routine that determines what happens when a caller dials your number. In most deployments, this works via a redirect. During hours when the AI handles calls, the inbound number routes to the AI system rather than the front desk. During hours when the front desk is staffed and handle calls, the routine starts as it is. The handover between models is configurable, typically set by the time of the day, but can also be triggered by queue length or staff availability. Your PMS. The integration between the voice system and your property management system determines how much the AI can do in real time. A full integration means that AI can check room availability, quote rates, and place a provisional hold on a booking, all within the call, without needing to put the call on the hold. A light integration means that AI collects the relevant information and logs an inquiry for the reservation team to action. Both work. The full integration produces a better caller experience and a faster booking close. Your CRM or reservation inbox. Every call the AI handles, answered, escalated, completed, abandoned, should create a log entry somewhere your team can see it. New booking inquiries that came in overnight should appear in the same place your team monitors for reservations. This closes the visibility gap that currently exists with voicemail. Instead of calls that disappear, you have a complete log of what came in, when, what was discussed, and what the outcome was. Typical integration phase. 1 to 2 weeks of technical build and testing. One of the questions that comes up in almost every implementation conversation. Does the AI replace the front desk, or does it work alongside it? The answer is, in most hotels deployments, is alongside. The AI handles a defined scope of calls, and your team handles everything outside that scope. Here's what that split typically looks like. After hours, evenings, and overnight, the AI is primarily inbound calls that arrive between, say, 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. route to to the AI by default. The AI handles booking inquiries, general inquiries, and calls from existing guests with straightforward queries. Complex situations, complaints, and calls that fall outside the defined scope are escalated to a human. More on what that escalation looks like in a moment. Daytime, when front desk is staffed, the AI is supplementary. It can handle overflow when the front desk is at capacity, reducing hold times and call abandonment during peak periods. It can handle the high-volume simple inquiries, opening hours, parking, amenities, that a front desk agent handles dozens of a time, freezing the team for bookings and relationship-sensitive matters. Or it can simply be inactive during the staffed hours if your operation prefer a clear differentiation. The configuration is yours to define. Most properties start with after hours primarily and daytime supplementary, then adjust based on call volume data from the first few months. What this is not, a replacement for your reservation team. The AI handles the window where your team currently isn't there and handles the simple end of daytime volume where having a human isn't necessary. Your team stays in place for everything that benefits from a person. Escalation is a part of the implementation that matters most for your team's confidence in the system. If they know that the right calls always reach the person, the AI becomes a tool they trust rather than a variable that worry about. Escalation works through a set of rules defined during the preparation phase. These rules determine when the AI stops handling the call and passes on to a human. Common escalation triggers. Call type. A complaint from a current in-house guest should escalate to the duty manager immediately, not after a failed AI conversation. A call from a guest who mentioned a medical issue or an emergency should escalate instantly. These rules are hard-coded. Regardless for the time of the night, if the call contains the signals, it goes to a human. Caller request. If a caller says, "I want to speak to a person," at any point in the call, for any reason, the call is escalated. No pushback, no attempt to continue an AI conversation. The caller asks for a human, they get a human. Unable to handle. If the AI encounters a call type or a specific question it can't handle confidently, something outside the defined scope, it doesn't guess. It tells the caller it's going to connect them with someone who can help, and it escalates. What happens during escalation? The caller is told they've been connected to a team member. The AI logs a brief summary of the call so far, why the caller ran, what has been discussed, what action is needed. That summary appears on the receiving end alongside the transferred call, so the human who picks up is not starting from zero. Where escalated calls go at 2 a.m. This is a question every property answers differently. Options include a dedicated on-call number for the duty manager, a general on-call phone, or for calls where the urgency is lower, a locked escalation that the reservation team picks up first thing in the morning with the call summary and contact details. Which calls go where is defined in escalations rules. The results, your team handles what requires them. The AI handles everything else. The boundary between the two is implicit and enforced. Week 1. Go live on a limited scope. Most properties don't go live with the full functionality on day 1. Week 1 is typically after-hours calls, booking inquiries, and general inquiries only, with a conservative escalation threshold. When in doubt, escalate. The goal is to observe real call behavior in your environment and confirm that the flow is working as designed. Call recording and automatic system reviews happens during week 1. The implementation team listened to the call. What did call actually ask? Where did the flow handled correctly? Where did something unexpected come up? This data drives the first round of adjustments and improvements. Week 2, we do the first optimizations. Based on the week 1 observation, the conversation flow gets its first set of tweaks. Unexpected call types that appeared in week 1 get added to the handle scope. Escalation rules get redefined based on actual escalation patterns. Too many or too few escalation during week 1 is a signal for adjustment. Language and tone adjustment if the voice or phrase needs calibration for your brand. Week 3 or 4. Expanding the scope and settling. By week 3, most properties have explained the AI scope to include a broader range of the call types and have moved the escalation threshold to a more calibrated position. The system is handling calls with minimal surprises. The reservations team has seen the overnight calls logs and is usually found in the summary format useful. The system starts to feel settled. Transition from 65% answer rate to 98%. This is what it looks like from day 1 to week 4. The 98% figure assumes the system is handling the after-hours window completely and supplement during the day. For some properties with more complex call types or integration requirements, the ramp-up takes longer. For most, by the end of week 4, the system is performing in a range that reflects its steady state capability. The most important conversation to have with your front desk and the reservation team before going live is this one. What changes for them? The honest answer: less than they probably expect. What changes? They no longer need to cover the phones after the shift ends. The overnight anxiety about what's coming in, the calls they know are probably going to voicemail and won't be covered, that goes away. Monday morning no longer start with a triage of weekends missed calls. During the day, if AI is handling overflow, they'll notice that the queue length is more consistent. The calls that reach them are on average slightly more complex because the simpler queries are being handled elsewhere. Some reception staff finds this more engaging. Some need time to adjust to changes in call mix. What doesn't change? They're still the frontline team for everything the AI doesn't handle. Complaints, complex bookings, relationship-sensitive moments and conversations, anything that benefits from a person. This is still covered by them. The AI doesn't remove their role. It removes the part of their role that were most frustrating and less valuable. The staff concern that comes up in almost every property: will AI makes us redundant? The honest answer is no, at least not in the short or to medium term for hotel operations. The AI handles calls. It doesn't handle guests who are standing at the desk, difficult situations that requires experience and judgments, relationship management with corporate accounts, or any of other things that makes an experienced hospitality professional valuable. What it does is eliminate the repetitive, high volume, low complexity call handling that most front desk teams find exhausting. A few things worth naming explicitly. Your reservation process doesn't change. Bookings that come through the AI still get logged in the same place, confirmed through the same system, and managed by the same team. The AI is a new intake channel, not a replacement for your reservation workflow. Your brand voice is something the system is calibrated to. The voice, tone, the phrasing of the AI are configured to reflect your property, not a generic script. Calibration happens during the preparation and optimization phases. Your escalation paths are yours. What goes to the duty manager, what goes to the morning log, what gets flagged urgent, those decisions belong to your operation. The system enforces the rules you defined, not a generic escalation model. The AI does not make commitments the property hasn't approved. It quotes rates from your PMS, it confirms availability that's accurate in real life. It doesn't invent the offer, make exceptions to policy, or say things your team would never say. The operational picture condensed. Preparation: 1 to 2 weeks. Map your call types, integration points, and escalation rules. This phase determines the quality of everything that follows. Integration: 1 to 2 weeks. Phone routing, PMS connections, CRM login, escalations channels. Scope split: AI handles after hours primarily and daytime overflow. Your team handles everything that AI doesn't, which is smaller but more complex set of interactions. Escalations: explicit rule-based, immediate when triggered. Your team always handles what requires them. The AI always stops when it should. Weeks 1 to 4: go live, observe, optimize, settle. By week 4, steady state performance. Staff impact: less overnight stress, more consistent daytime call mix, not redundancy, relocation. If you want to hear what a handled call actually sounds like before committing to a mental model of what this does, I've linked to videos below. One showing a booking call in real action, and one that is straight up real call with no narration. Worth watching before your next conversation on this. Today question for the comments: what is the part of this that you're most uncertain about for your specific property type? The integration, the escalation rules, the staff conversation. What is the striking point? Drop it below in a comment. I read everything. New videos coming next week. Subscribe. Thank you so much and goodbye.